A brand new update has just become available for the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, Mavic 3 Classic and Mavic 3 that brings 6 exciting new features that include helping you fly safer by being able to see in different directions than the direction you are flying by using Vision Assist, see an augmented reality path during the return to home process to check obstacles on the return route, allow you to turn off the downward vision sensors so you can fly lower and more. Let's take a quick look at a demonstration of the new features and how they work. Let's jump right in. Now, if you're new around here, welcome to the Drone Creative, the channel that helps you learn more about flying drones. From the basics to the most advanced techniques to help you get better looking images and more cinematic videos with your drone. So if you would like to see more of that, then please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button down below. And when you're down there, make sure the notification bell is checked as well, so that you will be alerted when one of my new tutorials is released. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so before we take a look at these features and how they work, you want to make sure that you have updated your aircraft firmware to the latest version. And there is also controller firmware updates for the DJI RC Pro and DJI RC N1. Remember, if you are using the DJI RC N1, you will also need to update the DJI Fly app. So the biggest and most exciting new feature with this update that is available on the Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Classic and Mavic 3 Pro is a new feature called Vision Assist. So let's take a look at how you use this feature and a few examples of when you might want to use it. So essentially, Vision Assist now allows you to see forwards, left, backwards and to the right using the vision sensors on the drone to get a black and white image to see in other directions than the drone is pointing. Now, to be able to use this feature, you want to bring up the small map on the bottom left of the interface. So if it's minimized like it currently is here, you want to tap that map icon to bring up the map. And then to get into Vision Assist, you want to swipe from left to right. And you will now see the Vision Assist feature appear on the bottom left of the interface. Now you can see by default, I am currently viewing what the forward-facing Vision Assist sensors see in black and white. And I can see that because the forward arrow at the top of that little screen is highlighted yellow, and that's to indicate that I'm viewing them forward-facing vision sensors. Now you can change to view left, behind or to the right of the drone by simply tapping the arrow in the direction you want to see. So if I tap the left icon, you can now see I am seeing to the left of the drone. Now, the drone hasn't rotated in the air at all. The drone is still facing in the same direction. I'm actually viewing the images that are coming from the left-facing Vision Assist sensors in this black and white preview. Now, something you might notice happening is whenever you switch to the left-facing, backwards-facing, or right-facing Vision Assist view, after a few seconds, it will default back to that forward-facing view. So if you want to keep the view set to a different direction other than forward facing, what you need to do is you need to tap in the direction you want to view. So I'm going to tap the backwards view now and then press and hold on that direction. And you will see a message come up saying locked. And you will also see a little padlock icon appear in the direction you want to view. And now this view will be locked, so it won't snap back to that forward-facing view after a few seconds. And this is very important because most likely if you're using this feature, you won't want to be using the forward-facing view because you can already see the forward-facing view with the main drone's camera. So you want to lock it in the direction you want to view by doing this, and then it won't default back to that forward-facing view. Now, to unlock the view and to change to view in a different direction, you simply just want to tap in a different direction you want to view. So if I select the right-facing view now, you can see it's unlocked and now it's changed to that right-facing view. Now, this little window is quite small, but you can actually enlarge it and enlarge the preview of what the Vision Assist is seeing. So if you tap the full screen icon on the top right of that little window, you can see it now enlarges the view and you can see more clearly what the Vision Assist is seeing. Now, do be aware this is a black and white low resolution preview, so it's going to be nowhere near as good a quality as the main camera on the drone, but it's still good enough to be able to make out large obstacles clearly, which is what you're going to be using this feature for. Now, if you're done looking at the full screen view and you want to go back to the minimized view and put it into the bottom left corner of the screen, all you need to do is tap the drone's camera view on the bottom left of the screen, and you will now go into the drone's camera view and you can see that Vision Assist feature is now minimized on the bottom corner. Now, something else you might see on this is a small yellow circle on the center of the Vision Assist window. Now you will see this no matter if it's minimized or if it's in full screen, as I will put it into now. And as you fly your drone around, what you will see happening is you will see a small line appear upwards or downwards from that small yellow circle. And what this shows you is the pitch or tilt of your drone. So we're currently viewing backwards from the drone, and if I fly the drone forwards, you can see that little line starts to come out from the top of that circle. And the more I fly forwards, the longer that line gets. And this is showing you by how much the drone is pitching forward. If I start to fly backwards, you can see that little line starts to come out from the bottom of that yellow circle. And that's now showing you how much your drone is pitched backwards as it flies backward. If I fly the drone to the right, you can see that line now coming out from the right of that yellow circle, and that's showing you how much the drone is tilting as it's flying to the right. So you can use this little yellow circle to get a visual representation of the pitch and tilt of your drone in the air. So let's take a quick look at two examples of how you can use this new vision assist feature. So let's say I want to get a nice slow video pulling back over the top of this field to reveal a small bridge which is currently behind the drone. But I'm pointing the drone forwards, and so I can't see behind the drone. Well, we can now use Vision Assist to be able to see backwards as we're flying backwards, but have the drone's camera pointing forwards. Now to do that, what I want to do is I want to change the Vision Assist to view the backwards facing cameras. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the backwards arrow to view backwards away from the drone. Again, remember the drone is not rotating in the air at all. This is using the vision cameras on the drone. And I'm going to press and hold on that backwards arrow so that it doesn't snap back to the forwards facing Vision Assist view. Now, if I bring this up into full screen mode, you can now see this little bridge behind the drone, but I'm actually just going to keep this minimized. So I'm going to tap the drone view again. And now if I hit record and start to fly the drone backwards slowly, you can see I can keep an eye on the bottom left of the screen so that I can make sure that the drone is not going to get tangled up with that bridge as it flies backwards. Let's now take a look at another example. So let's say I want to get a clip flying above this little stream while keeping the forest to the left of the drone. And to help do this safer, I'm going to use Vision Assist so that I can keep an eye to the left of the drone as I fly it forwards. Now again, I'm going to tap the left facing view on the Vision Assist feature, and I'm going to press and hold to lock it so that it doesn't snap back to that forward facing view. And now if I enlarge this, again you can see I can see to the left of the drone to make sure I'm staying away from these trees as I fly forwards. So again, I'm going to change that to the minimized view by tapping on the drone camera view on the bottom left of the screen. And now I'm going to hit record, and as I fly forwards, I can just keep an eye on the bottom left of the screen to make sure I'm staying away from them trees to keep this flight as safe as possible, while still getting an incredible looking clip because I can keep the drone facing forwards. And lastly, if at any time you want to get back to the map view, you simply swipe from right to left on that Vision Assist view and you will now get the map preview on the bottom left of the interface again. Now, something to be aware of is that this Vision Assist function only works after you have taken the drone off. If your drone is on the ground, you will see a message saying view after takeoff. So if you want to use this feature, you must take the drone off. The next new really exciting feature includes 3 new AR or augmented reality features which have been added to the Mavic 3 series drones. And the first one you might already see on the screen, and that is a new augmented reality home point icon that appears on your drone's camera view. Now, after you take the drone off, a virtual point with a little H icon on it will appear on your screen to tell you the position that the drone will return back to, also known as the home point, and you will see this as you fly around so that you can visually see where that home point is at all times. Now, to make sure these features are turned on, or to turn on or off individual AR features, you want to go to the settings menu, and under the safety tab you want to scroll down until you see a new option called AR settings. And when you tap into this, you will see you can turn on or off the AR home point, the AR return to home rate, and the AR aircraft shadow. The next feature, which is the AR return to home rate, will draw a augmented reality path on the screen when return to home kicks in so that you can visually see the returning route for the drone. and this can assist you to check whether there are any obstacles on the return route of the drone. And if you are using advanced return to home, where the drone can avoid obstacles as it flies back to you, you will see this path get updated in real time. Now the last AR feature is the AR aircraft shadow, and this appears when you point your gimbal down towards the ground. You will see this new projection of the drone on your camera view, and this can help you locate an area suitable enough to land your drone. It can help you just land the drone with more accuracy because you can see exactly where it's going to land. And as you get closer to the ground, this AR aircraft shadow actually gets larger to show you a close representation of the size of the drone, again just to help you know if the drone will actually fit in the location you're about to land the drone. Now, one of the new features I am super excited to see added to the Mavic 3 series drones is frame guides. And this will help with a scenario that you might encounter where you want to capture a clip horizontally for platforms such as YouTube, and also a vertical clip for platforms such as Instagram. But maybe you're capturing something that you can only capture once, such as an event, or you're just trying to speed up the process by capturing only one clip with the view to crop it in post to get your vertical video and your horizontal video. But you maybe flew too close to the subject, as in this example here, and when you actually go to crop it in your video editor, you realize that the sides of your subject get clipped out and it doesn't look great. Well, frame guides will help prevent that from happening. Let me show you how it works. So if you go to the settings menu and go to the camera heading, if you scroll down, you will see a new option called frame guide. Now by default, frame guide is off. But if I tap in here, you can see we get a range of options. So for this example, I'm going to select a 9x16 vertical because that is what Instagram uses. So if I select 9x16 vertical and go back to the camera view, you can now see we get an overlay added to our video preview. And what this does is add shadows in the area that will be cropped out when you do that crop in post. Now it's very important to realize two things. Firstly, this is not now capturing vertical video. This is still capturing a 4K clip. This is simply a guide that is put on the screen to help you visually frame your clips, but you will still have to do the crop in post. The second thing is, what you're seeing on screen is not how the video is going to turn out. Again, this is very much just like grid lines. What this is doing is it's adding an overlay over your video preview, but the video you get from your drone won't have this overlay on it. And so now using this, I can now frame my clip slightly differently to make sure that when I do crop it in post, that I'm going to have my entire subject in the frame. And you have a range of options in here, which is nice to see. So for example, I could change this to a 1:1 aspect ratio. And now when I go back to that camera view, you can see the frame guide for that 1:1 aspect ratio. This is going to be an incredibly useful feature. Now the next new feature that has been added is an option that allows you to turn off or turn back on landing protection and them downward vision sensors. Now this is a feature you might find useful if you want to get really low clips flying your drone super low to the ground, or you might find it useful if you have tried to fly close over the top of a subject, but the drone won't let you because it's detecting that object underneath it, even though you can clearly see that the drone will easily fly over the top of it. So let's say I want to get a clip flying over the top of this little bridge, but I want to fly really close to the top of it as I fly over it. So I can clearly see by looking at my drone here that the drone is going to easily clear the top of that bridge. But if I hit record and start to fly the drone forward, what you will see happen is the drone will actually stop itself as it gets close to the bridge. Now I'm holding forwards on the joystick, but the drone won't let me fly over the top of it, even though it's clear that the drone will easily fly over the top of this bridge. So if I now fly backwards again, I'm not going to change altitude at all. And if I go into the settings menu and under the safety heading, you can now scroll down to advanced safety settings. And if you scroll down again, you will see a new option where you can turn off the downward vision sensors. Now, if you turn this off, you will get a warning which says when disabled, aircraft is unable to hover stably in places with no or weak GNSS signal, and functions such as precise landing and landing protection are unavailable. So when you turn off these sensors, you do need to be careful. Now, if I press OK and go back and start recording again, I haven't changed the drone's altitude at all, and now fly forward, you can see that as we get close to this little bridge, the drone isn't actually going to stop itself, and I fly successfully over the top of it because them downward vision sensors haven't kicked in, preventing the drone from flying forwards. Now the second reason, as mentioned, why you might want to use this is to be able to get your drone much closer to the ground. So if I go in and I turn on the downward vision sensors again, and I lower the drone as close as I can to the ground, you can see the drone only allows me to get a certain distance above the ground before it won't allow me to lower the drone anymore. And no matter how much I hold down that joystick, the drone simply won't go any lower. In fact, if I hold that joystick down for too long, the drone will actually start to land. But if I go into the settings and turn off the downward vision positioning sensors, and again press OK on that warning, again be very aware of the risks whenever you turn these downward vision assist sensors off. And now you can see by pulling down gently on that joystick, I can get the drone as low to the ground as I want. And the sensors will not kick in at any stage to prevent me from getting very low to the ground. So this allows you to get much closer to the ground, and it will allow you to get clips where you're flying super low to the ground. Again, I must stress, just be very careful if you turn them sensors off. And lastly, there are two new features added to the Mavic 3 Pro only. Firstly, the 7x telecamera now supports 10-bit D-Log-M and HLG color mode. So if I change to the 7x telecamera and go to the settings menu, under camera you can now see that D-Log-M and HLG color mode. And the second new feature added to the Mavic 3 Pro only is that the 3x medium telecamera now supports night shots mode, master shots, quick shots, and spherical panoramas have now been added. Although something you do need to be aware of is, unlike with the other panorama modes, when using spherical panorama mode with the 3x telecamera, the drone only captures the images. It won't automatically stitch them together as it does with the other modes. You will need to do this stitching yourself after the fact. So there you have it. That's all the new features added in the new update for the Mavic 3 series drones, and some new features exclusive to the Mavic 3 Pro. And I think this is a really exciting update with some really useful new features that will help you frame your clips better and fly your drone more safely. Now before you go, if you like this video and you learned something new, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up and clicking that like button down below. And if you love all things drones and want to know how to get more cinematic videos and better images with your drone, then I recommend you check out my channel where I have a ton of other content to help you level up your drone game. If you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos where I go over tips, tricks and give you tutorials for everything you need to know about your drone, then I recommend that you click that subscribe button down below, and when you're down there, make sure you select the notification bell so that you will be alerted when one of my new tutorials comes out. And if you want to stick around and watch a few more videos now, here's a few I personally recommend. I'll not keep you back any further. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you over there.